agree. Just realize that
guys here, have chosen a plot. Okay, so this is to protect small businesses and protect fair landlords. But the Real Estate Board of New York, they're not fair landlords. These are these big property speculators and developers that are causing all this displacement that's going on in the city. That's who we're all fighting. You're fighting them and I'm fighting them. Exactly. And you want to know, even the banks are not lending money to the small businesses because they just want to lend to the big fish.
Sure.
So why do you have the Real Estate Board of New York? 4 major banks behind them, okay? Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're all convicted felons at Signature Bank, all right? They don't want to lend money to the small businesses, okay? People like yourself. So what we're all fighting, and I'm glad what Mark is fighting the greed of the Real Estate Board of New York. All right? They're the ones that are causing all this displacement.
The root of the problem is taxes. And the water, which is another form of tax, okay? It's called water bill, but just taxes.
Not just
keep
that.
piling, you see the keeps piling on the...
But I agree with you.
What new things are they proposing at the moment to actually, obviously they have a new legislation they're trying to get extra money. What are the things that they're trying to put on the table for small businesses to try to absorb?
You mean what is the mayor then doing?
Yeah, what is it that we're objecting for that?
Exactly. I'm here to protest against the mayor as well, okay? Because what the mayor is doing is he's giving the Real Estate Board of New York everything they want. And everything they want is about, everything goes market. Pushes everybody out of, the rents. Take your tenant, your rents in residential. The rents are going sky high. They want to kill all the rent stabilization, okay? It affects a lot of people that go to the small businesses. They don't mind taxing people to death, but then they give billions of dollars in taxes to these billionaire, what I call racketeers and bullies running the Real Estate Board of New York. That's the biggest, most powerful political lobby in New York City, New York State. The mayor got almost $2 million from the real estate interests in the Real Estate Board of New York, okay? And you know what? They've never allowed legislation to come up that protects the small businesses. So that's what we're here to fight for the small businesses. We're working day and night. And you're in an interesting position. You as a landlord and a small business person, you can better understand what small businesses are going through and landlords are going through, okay? And I'm assuming, I would bet you're pretty damn fair when it comes to somebody renewing a lease. You can sit there and say, these are my costs, I gotta make a profit, okay? And I gotta stay in business myself. That's understandable. But when you've got an outfit like the Real Estate Board of New York, that the mayor and so far the city council speakers, Margaret Viverito, who was my city council member, was supporting, okay, it's nothing but all the wealth goes to the top, you get taxed to death, and your tax money goes to the billionaire racketeers and bullies. They get all kinds of 421A tax abatements, J51, all kinds of tax abatements. I'll give you a good example. Affordable housing is a problem in New York City, okay, for the 99%. Why is it that Rob Spire, Jerry Spire, Tishman Spire, they had up that big outfit, okay, the big developer, Tishman Spire, okay, he was the head of REBNY, the Real Estate Board of New York, until January. Now Bill Rudin is, okay? Rob Spire, listen to this now, I want to know where your tax money's going.
today in there.
Rob and Jerry Spire, they're worth $3.7 billion, all right? They get a $200 million tax abatement to build 3 high-rise towers in Long Island City. They're supposed to provide 20% of affordable housing. Because of a loophole in the law, they're keeping the $200 million and they're not providing any affordable housing in those buildings. Now you tell me, if I was the mayor of this city, I'd be on their doorstep and saying, you're not getting that tax abatement. Everything is for the very rich and wealthy. And believe me, I sympathize with you, and that's why we're here. That's why I understood that Mark, he's the head of the Small Business Committee. All right? And if he wants to get good legislation through, then Corey Johnson, who's the speaker, he has to go along with it. And not get too much opposition from the mayor. The city council's in charge.
But what happened to free enterprise?
Well, wait a minute. I have no problem with
We're going to protest milk prices, say, well, we want $1 a gallon, okay?
Free enterprise in the market. You know what? That'd be nice if that was really working. the trouble is, the way the government works and the real estate board of New York works is get all that tax money and get it flowing to us in what we call corporate welfare. I would be happy to see small business owners like yourself, or even small landlords, somehow get all kinds of breaks so that they can pass it on to the small businesses and the tenants. I'm all for that.
Taxes.
I'm for that. I agree with you because I'm paying them too. But also as a small business owner, which I was down there in Dumbo, okay, with Jed and David Walentis, they walked into my office, we doubled my rent just like that. Okay, but I said, look, can I stay another month or two to try to work? You're out of here. Then my office space is empty. For at least 8 months I went down there, nobody's in my office. Why are all these empty storefronts? Why are all these empty office buildings? Because they're warehousing, they're property speculators. That's what's hurting us. It's hurting small businesses.
Maybe a little bit of that.
No,
The character of this city is being murdered, butchered. There is no, the culture of New York City is slowly being dismantled and picked apart for money, for profit. Places, iconic places like the Lenox Lounge in Harlem, like CBGB's, like Cornelia Street Cafe, Vivaldi's. Those places are iconic places, and they're being made to close down because the landlords have augmented the rent so high that they might as well have told them to just get out. They can't pay it. And so this is what's happening throughout the city. And what is replacing these stores? Chase Bank, Citibank, Duane Reade's, CVS, malls. This is New York City is going to become a huge mall. That's not what people want. That's not the idea of New York City. New York City is where people can come for culture. For every neighborhood has a particular personality. They're being dismantled one by one, and it's the death of a city.
This gentleman probably has something to say.
Well, what I would say is, and the system, the way it is right now, is pitting the citizens of the city against the small business owners. The taxes are so exorbitant for everyone, including the small business owners, that the rent keeps going up, and that it pushes small business out. I mean, any small business, like next door to me, a small French pastry shop, their rent went from $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and you can't sell enough croissants to cover that. So, and especially with the lease agreements, any small business has to have a lease for at least 5 or 10 years, and then if they don't have any secure lease, they're pretty much out of business. So all their hard work goes into paying rent. And it's worse now than it's ever been in history of the city, I believe.
That was Hank Dombrowski. Ben Kremen also been very much involved in fighting for small businesses, and his friend Vivian here.
Along the lines of what all these fine people that I'm hanging around with here are saying, the landlords should realize that in a way they're killing the goose that's laying the golden egg. As they keep doing what they're doing, keep putting up the high-rises, the stores keep closing. There are 40 million tourists from all over the world that come here every year. Are they coming here to look at luxury high-rises and empty storefronts? They're not coming here for that. As this thing continues, there won't be 40 million tourists coming to see that stuff. We'll be lucky if we have 20. The city economy is going to get hurt badly if this keeps up. So let me add that to what the others are saying.
And I'd just like to add one more thing. A big part of it is predatory banking and predatory equity. They're buying up rows of buildings and investing using using the buildings as investment vehicles. And when they're used as investment vehicles, they cease to function as what they were intended to function as in the first place, whether it be housing or small business. And there's you can go down a street like Bleecker Street and see rows of empty buildings that used to have record shops and bakeries and a bodega, all gone with now signs saying for rent. And they just can't get the rent. Nobody wants to move it to a storefront that they don't have a decent lease, and they don't ever know what the rent is going to jump up to. So I take a look at predatory equity and the banking, the bad banks that are playing a big part in all of this.
The landlords are just landlords, and their landlords, there's no problem. But Beach Lane management, yeah, it's these corrupt landlords and the corrupt policies of the Real Estate Board of New York. That's what it's all about. And I welcome both of you, this man here. Say how you feel about what's happening with small businesses. We're not here to stifle anybody. Well, I thought we were all here for the same thing.
That's why I wanted to make sure we are.
Yeah, I am.
Because I got a little confused when you mentioned landlord. With that, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm talking about these landlords that
You're saying that there are obviously a percentage of the landlords who are really, they're just being opportunistic. They really don't care what happens, only the dollar.
Right.
And you're saying the city government is actually backing them up.
They're backing revenue.
Without giving, backing revenue, and they're not giving a chance to those business owners to survive.
Exactly.
We're only interested almost
It's
in
all big money and big campaign contributions. This mayor got almost $2 million in campaign contributions from the big real estate interests. These aren't the little mom and pop stores. He got it from the Real Estate Board of New York and the big real estate, what we call the billionaire racketeers and bullies. They're putting us all under.